Welcome back, everybody. Game number 2, this time with no sound issues.
Hello.
You
You can hear us both now.
Yeah, that's what real intros are for. Anyway, guys, we're here into game number 2 of Kaipi versus Elements, which we're thinking this is going to be a little bit more of a normal game. We'll see how the draft goes.
I don't know, man. These teams, they're interesting. They've got some quirky draft tactics, and one team has general. that guy, he's kind of like mind control for me. People used to talk about mind control. He either goes 20-0 or he goes 0-20, but from the off lane. Generals like that from mid. I know from both second-hand experience and first-hand experience. I've met him a couple of times in my pubs, and he has tilted a few times. I think I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But I've heard from other people as well that he is. He's a very mechanically skilled player, and he does like to win his lane and actually sort of control the flow of where the game's going. But if he doesn't get that start, sometimes that can really sort of set the tone of the entire game, not just for him but for the rest of his team.
I like the way he played that last game, though. There's something about the pub star players.
It's great that he was playing Shadowfiend because it's all about that swagger, right? It's just like, this game's all about me.
I think something pub star player, they just know, because they've done it so many times, how to be able to win the Dota game against those kind of overwhelming odds, right? Where it's like, I have to carry my 4 other allies who are doing nothing but feeding. The enemy team is super fed. You start figuring out ways. Like, if you're a real pub star at that 7, 8K level, you figure out ways to win the Dota game outside of the box, right? And doing things like that Desolator pickup. They lost the game, sure, but I can't fault the Desolator. It seemed to make sense. I mean, he pretty much had no real options.
Yeah.
It was cheap damage, allowed him to split push better. The trade-offs that they made kept the game going.
Yeah, the majority of players would have defended bot racks, right? They would have stuck around, fought with the rest of their team, but he went top, took the trade-off, got a 1-for-1 trade, then they lost mid-racks. And things looked okay for them, but it was all last-ditch efforts really for them. Now KP, they've got a similar draft to what Elements had last game. The SF Wyvern, that Curse Requiem combo is incredibly strong. They've still got the Bane. They've got the Bane again. While Elements have the Doom and Undying. I wonder if they'll go for something like a lit. Lane control maybe could be the way to go for them this time around. And actually, there's only one general hero remaining. I've only ever seen him play Windrunner, Quap, Shadowfiend, and Invoker. And I think Invoker is like his strongest hero, honestly. The Quas Wex Invoker that he does love to run around.
Yeah. This game wouldn't be bad for it. I think it's usually pretty good at challenging SF.
Mm-hmm.
The defensive supports are relatively easy pickoffs once you've got the Orchid ready to go. We'll see where Elements go. Kaipi, pretty much the same opening that we were talking about, the OG style opening of getting the 2 defensive supports. Dazzle, of course, being banned away by Elements means they had to go for the Bane SF combo.
It was kind of cute watching Dazzle rise to popularity during the major. He was always this kind of middling hero where you'd pick him second phase or ban him second phase and be irritated when you're against him or be happy when you've got him. But when people started watching OG and Secret, of course, just play Dazzle over and over and over again and win continuously with that hero, he became first pick, first ban material, and that's just carried on through after the major as well. It's always fun watching the big tournaments and see how the meta kind of, it shifts in little ways. You don't kind of expect it to go that way, where usually you're looking at, Tusk being banned out permanently as along with like Quap, Shadowfiend and stuff like that, but that poor little Dazzle. Now SD is a hero that we don't see at all.
Yeah, what's with this pickup? I mean, I know it's all the rage right now to get supports that can save a core.
10 seconds
but
remaining.
This is the bottom tier of those defensive supports. Disruption is
5 seconds remaining.
meh ability at best compared to Cold Embrace, compared to Shallow Grave. It's not that strong, right?
Radiant team ban.
A Leshrac. Well, there's your answer. That's why we see a Shadow Demon then. It's usually picked up to set up another hero, in this case, the Leshrac core. So Leshrac, Shadow Demon top, Undying Doom bottom,
10
or are we have it in
seconds
aggro
remaining.
tri-lane?
I'm not sure. I kind of like the first thing I
5
saw was aggro
seconds
trialing there for
remaining.
me. Then Doom safe.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have like the Crosswex Invoker mid, something like that.
Reserve time.
Doom can beat out Slaughter.
Or you could even have the
1v1.
Exort Invoker if you wanted to, with a Sunstrike onto the Disruption.
Oh, yeah. What happens if Kaipi ban away the last general hero, though?
Then they have problems.
Dun, dun, dun!
Like Leshrac, someone's played it mid recently. I think S4 tried it at Dream League. We've seen it a handful of times in SEA. I think Mushi, is it ESL1 New York? I can't
Radiant
Yeah, I
remember,
think
but
so.
it's happened a couple of times. But it's never been as successful as the good old Rainbow Disco bloody annoying
Real-
dumbass pony.
Yeah, real quickly, just because someone said it in chat, Yapsor is just standing in for the team. He is not joining Kaipi. So, somebody was saying Yapsor's
10
must be
seconds remaining.
must be joining Kaipi. Rip MFF. Not the
5
case.
seconds remaining.
I mean, MFF said before Dream League that they had disbanded, and then they were going to Dream League just because they got the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've like rebanded or anything like that. I
Yeah,
mean, they did decently, honestly.
yeah, he did all right.
What's KP's last hero? Safe lane carry?
10 seconds
Anti-mage?
Okay.
Oh. Safe lane
remaining.
Slardar.
Dire team
Why not? This team just throws us every single time with these last picks.
Interesting. I mean, Elements are thinking along the same lines as you and I. You know, PL Jug both banned out. Good sustain. Good ways of handling the Lesh. Darkseer. Now, what's the reason for that? Because Darkseer doesn't do particularly well against Doom.
Yeah, because
Can't
he
es-
just devours your
10
creep, right?
seconds
Can't
remaining.
escape from SD disruption into Split Earth combos.
Maybe they think it's the dual lane scenario,
5
though.
seconds remaining.
Right, and Slardar can't survive in a lane of Shadow Demon Leshrac, but a
Reserve
Darkseer
time.
potentially can, just the way he
5
pushes
seconds
waves.
remaining.
Means
Okay.
that the Shadow Demon is, if he's positioned forward, is distanced from the Leshrac. There's the Invoker that we were talking about. Durka called that one out beautifully. Kaipi once again banned away the Viper, which was not the hero.
I don't think there was any dispute. It was going to be a general Invoker. Like I said, obviously his like pub hero pool is probably pretty massive, but in competitive play, I think it's like 4 or 5 that he does like to pull out. So ZXC's on the Doom now. He was playing their off lane last time. Yeah, screen RMN the support, so it's gonna be Leshrac roaming around a little bit with the Shadow Demon. Get a couple of kills. But do you stack it all here for Elements? This is the big problem with like Leshrac nowadays, right? Is that you'd always stack the large camp and medium camp and
10
just flash
seconds
farm with
remaining.
your chain lightning, with your lightning storm. Can you do that nowadays?
5 seconds remaining.
You need to tank up a hell of a lot. You don't have great armor. Your HP pool is awful. You get shredded by the SF and that Slardar. So I feel you need to outfarm. Like, you need to keep pace with the
Prepare
SF.
for battle.
Yeah. And just, I think if Elements draw this into just like as long as possible into a laning phase game, where they're not really getting those full 5-on-5 fights, but they're getting the pickoffs, the Shadow Demon into, whatever combo. Maybe we'll see an Exort Invoker, maybe we won't. But, the Doom, as he gets level 6, has opportunities. The hero that they have the most incentive to get full-on 5-man fights with is actually the Undying. But I feel like Undying isn't as valuable as he used to be in that regard. Tombstone, the change to Tombstone, I think, makes it less strong.
Yeah, especially when you have like a Wyvern who can just hit it from long range.
Yeah.
Even the SF.
30 seconds to
What have we got
battle.
from KP? Bone 7's on his signature Darkseer, honestly. Darkseer and Legion Commander were definitely two of his big heroes back in the day. Going for... I got Clockwork as well as in there as well, going for like the Orchid Clock, the Midas Darkseer.
Yeah.
And that's Legion Commander, which no one else would play.
It is an Exort Invoker.
Here we go.
I mean, it's really weird that he's just starting off, like, no knowledge whatsoever of what his exact laning phase experience is going to be, because very likely Exort Invokers can still go Quas level 1 if they're feeling harassment, right? Which usually is the main thing that Winter Wyverns do at level 1. They go harass the enemy mid.
He's bringing himself a salve, so it should be okay.
Yeah.
I think the boots are the more interesting thing, because usually we see the null, and then you get yourself tangos.
Yeah.
And then you get like pool tangos, you get a salve, something like that. You just stack up on regen a ton.
Oh, Bone 7. Ooh, boy. That is one hell of a level 1 gank. So
and he
he'll
wastes
be,
the salve.
yeah. So he'll go down to Yoku there. That was just straight up ward behind tower. Dive in. Nothing Bone 7 can do about that. Again, the Shadow Demon Leshrac combination is too dangerous. Screen isn't going to be needing to stay there, though. In fact, it's probably a lot of incentive for you not to stay there. With the Sunstrike ready to go now on the Invoker, they don't need its extra nuke damage, and nor do they want him sharing the experience of the bottom lane. As the faster they can get to level 2, are they going to throw the Sunstrike this time around? No. They know they don't have enough damage. Not yet, anyway. But if they can get level 2 where the Shadow Demon has Soul Catcher and then they have an extra nuke from the Leshrac and add Sunstrike in, I think they just one-shot the Darkseer almost.
It's a dual lane at mid. Oh my goodness. Screen is getting the decay stacks in. The Shadow Fiend is...
Oh, they got him!
Dead!
Soul Rip!
Okay.
That ability. Yeah, Soul Rip is actually insanely good. I love the fact that Scream went for this level 2. I don't like Tombstone so much anymore. ZXC, he's going to be run down by Keanu. They've got another stun, but this HP regeneration is allowing him to be able to stay alive. They're going to go for the dive deep, and oh no!
Hello, Stout Shield.
3 HP, he barely lives. Meanwhile, middle lane, what happened? Invoker ended up going down. RMN's going to steal the Bounding Rune here away from Bone 7, who will not pursue with a surge.
Yeah, the
Just
SF
backs out.
SF dies, and Yapsor realizes, hang on, I'm in a situation here where I can just Nightmare Brain Sap. And he gets the kill on General, who had no regen, was still on Exort. He drops like a fly.
Investing even more into Exor now, which means he's going to be caught out by Yapsor. Another kill. General playing it like it's a 1v1. The reality is, Bane is always around. And Yapsor, once again, I was really looking at that last game going, I wonder what happens in that game if Yapsor doesn't get as good of a start as he did, right? The early level 2, but also the really fast level 3 where Brain Sap deals almost twice the amount of damage that it did before. That seemed to be where Yapsor was creating so much space. Now he's got that once again. Meanwhile, in the top lane, they're actually fighting it out. Buffney, he's going to be trying to deal with ZXC, but he's just going to be run down eventually. Keanu's still trying to go for the kill, but he doesn't have enough. And now, oh, he goes down to the Doom. Sunstrike would have caught him anyways, but that's a double kill. Kaipi fighting where they shouldn't.
And Bone 7 doesn't have a home down the bottom lane. He's been forced off massively here by Yoku. Slash rank just a little bit too annoying for him, and RMN actually rotating around towards middle lane, giving General that little bit of a safeguard behind him with a disruption. So Cancel does not yet have massive stacks to fall back on, but again, that's something that we look for the Shadow Fiend, is just to catch up and overtake your counterpart with jungle farming efficiency.
Yeah, and he's already ahead of the Invoker quite significantly in CS. Part of the problem. I'm not sure what he is at damage-wise when he goes to Exort build, but it's not even close. Not even close to what the SF is at when he's getting those maxed out souls. So they're really putting a lot of effort in to make sure that Shadow Fiend mid is doing all right, even if their other lanes are suffering quite significantly.
I wonder what kind of timing we get on this Slardar Blink Dagger, because he's farming decently himself. Once he gets into... I guess you could actually see this Slardar as the one spot, because he is in that one roll farm priority kind of situation, right? Going to the treads and then Blink? Maybe even back into the Midas.
I don't think Midas would be a bad idea. I'll Loda. RMN leading. Oh, doesn't quite get him here. The sleep goes out onto General. Yapsor may be caught, but he still got the Brain Sap. See if they can actually one-shot him here. The Exor goes down. Still has the opportunity to get off a Brain Sap. Cold Embrace actually saving him some time. Now he's going to try and pursue. Cancel dropping low. RMN He's going to be target of that brain sap, and the Orpso are actually pursuing for that kill. Gets out the sleep, but he's got to back himself away. Both sides dangerously low, but the fight doesn't tilt too heavily one way or the other. Everybody survives, and everybody backs up.
And both cancel and General have salves brought out to them, so they're both back up to full health. And they'll start this 1v1 once again. We'll see the rotations happen. But Keanu's up at top farming away. Bone 7 again is like the big loser in all this, I feel. He's been forced out time and time again and has to go for boots. So there's no soul ring, no bottle, no real mana regen for him here. I think, like you said, Elements look for the laning phase extension and just try and keep the pressure on. I wonder if they even try and keep the towers alive. Because if these tier 1s are up and they kind of want people to rotate into them, right? With the tombstone from Undying, with all this sort of spread damage and being able to solo target people down at the same time. Not giving Kaipi any room.
Think they could kill ZXC here? He's already a bit low. No. Yeah, Absor runs into him now. Sleep on to Doom. He'll be woken up though. Undying deals with that one. Shatterdeem comes in with a disruption. The tombstone does fall. And Keanu, looks like CAC used to do it. Once again, Absor, he runs right into the last tail end of that sound strike. It was so close if he just stalled up his retreat a little bit longer. Oh, he's going to come in. They're going to be able to get screened quite easily here. He's going to be the first to go down. Looks like Cancel wants to go for more. Can't get it. In fact, screen. Whoa, that's a bash. What the hell? Keanu. He didn't go for maxed out sprint. Actually went for a level of early bash.
Really?
Yeah, that's not something you see every day.
I guess it kind of falls into what I was saying as well, where he's like the carry Slardar. He's not necessarily that offlane Slardar that we've come to know and love recently, where it's all utility. It's the Tranquil's Blink 4 staff.
It does look like he's going Hannah Midas, though. Unless he's going, like, straight Blink Dagger.
I think this is the way to go. This is the way Lodi used to do it as well. You go Brand Boots, Blink, and then back into Midas and Tread.
Well, middle lane. What's happening here in general? Getting dove a little bit. Yoku's now here with the response. Cancel's desperately trying to dodge the stun, but it will land. Even if Yoku had to cancel it a few times.
So
this Leshrac is out farming everyone.
Yeah, he is quite heavily. 45 and 18. Second highest, 31 and 12.
General's
No one.
on his Midas.
You know, the funny thing is, I mean, it's good farm for Yoku, but at the same time, everyone else just has bad farm. You know, it's 8 minutes in. It means Slardar, who's second highest in CS, is only 4xing. That's just because there's so much fighting going on in the laning phase. There's no hero that is able to just focus on farming except the Leshrac. Everyone else is battling it out.
And then the SF, 8 minutes in, is sub 3k net worth.
Yeah, that's not great.
A couple of deaths doesn't help, but he does have stack being built up by Yapzor over in the jungle. As Radiant SF can really take advantage of that medium camp close to him as well. And they know that Shadow Demon's here. They just pinged him out. Not sure how. He's invis and there's nothing that, I guess maybe an Observer Ward just expired and Storm coming in.
Well, our man's just going to get a lot of experience out of that. Almost ticks up to level 5, but that is all. Looks like they're going to go for the kill on the Bane here. With the Leshrac joining, they should have enough burst damage. Sunstrike, stun. They don't even need a lightning.
It's impossible to survive.
Screen going in deep here. Bacchiano, whoa, perfect response. Two-man stun with the Ion Shell over the top. They'll get the Tombstone as well. And that was Kaipi reading elements like a book.
Hey, look, it's a Winter Wyvern. It's a free kill. Let's go and get it. Oh, God, what have we walked into? Oh, Iron Shell Slaughter. Oh, my goodness.
I guess you don't need maxed out sprint when you have Surge, right?
Yeah, that's true. Wall was dropped there, though. Expanded out by Bone 7. And I've been liking this. You know, we used to see Wall skipped over just for Vacuum, because you'd have it as that synergy spell. But more recently, we've been seeing Wall picked up at straight up at level 6. That damage you get from it, the deterrent really in the team fights where you don't want to walk through the wall because it's going to create illusions and do that bit of damage. But I guess Vacuum here, you know, level 1, level 2, what's it going to give you? You need that level 4 Vacuum to get you into the Winter's Curse combo, into the Shadow Fiend Requiem combo. And they're the two big things, and they're just not ready yet.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Our men He's actually going for a maxed out Shadow Poison build. We've seen this more and more. The recent buff to Shadow Poison, allowing it to go up to 5 stacks, does amp up the damage, the potential damage, quite significantly. The question is whether or not you can actually ever get 5 stacks on one hero.
It's literally 1 million damage, though.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's just so much damage.
Much more likely that it's used to clear stacks, but just seems so rare to get 5 stacks on a hero.
Where do you think General goes with this build? Because it's rare we see Exalt
Necrobook?
Invokers nowadays. But yeah, it used to be like Necrobook 4 staff, Boots of Travels, and you play the split push game.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. I've been kind of liking people go back into like the Yule Scepter build and have that combo early, but have movement speed and mana regen, and then you head into like Blink Travels, Aghanims and Octarine. Like Aghanims is such a massive thing on Invoker nowadays. You get the 1 extra level across the orbs, and then that cooldown reduction on your Invoke. It's just so strong you can't really pass it up. And then if you do go for like the split push build with Necro BOTs and, you know, a Force of Blink something, it just delays that team fight capability you get.
But if you don't have movement speed because you don't have Wex, aren't you really suffering from the Yule's range nerf that happened last patch?
Not really. Like you get a point in Wex, but it's that double utility thing that we used to see from SF as well, where if you go for the Yule's Blink, you can both aggressively blink forward, but also defensively Yule's and blink away.
Mm-hmm.
But having the mana regen and just, you know, coming from fog and catching someone off guard, I'm not sure about this game. Like thinking about it now, the surge, the sprint, things like that, maybe you will suffer not being able to get into range.
Yeah, for me it's like the Yule's range nerf, which it feels like it's so small now. With that nerf, I don't feel like the Yule's is worth it until you get the Blink Dagger. Once you have the Blink Dagger, it's A-okay, but we'll see where General goes. They're both farming bottom right now, him and Yoku. They're going to push out that wave. I do like the idea of split pushing in this game, solely because they have a Doom and a Leshrac. I think they scale pretty damn well against Kaipi, who have a carry Slardar. I mean, he is the epitome of early game aggressive carry.
Yeah, and then Necro Force Spirits allow you to roast really well as well.
Yeah.
You can actually go and solo that yourself.
The mana burn as well is actually really nice against heroes like Slardar, who I would say are overly dependent on their limited mana pool.
Dire's middle tower is under
Tier 1
attack.
tower is going to go down in bottom lane.
Radiant's
Nothing
bottom
Kaipi
tower
are going to
is
do
under
about that.
attack.
We're going to see like a 14-minute
Radiant's
Bloodstone from the
bottom
Lesh.
tower has fallen.
So much money.
Dire's top
Oh,
tower
wow.
is under attack.
Okay, here we go. KP, Blink on Slardar. They are ready now.
This is probably a good call. Seeing the way that things were amping up, like we were looking at that amount of gold he had, it was like, okay, maybe it's the Midas, etc. But the way this game has ramped up in the last few minutes, I think it's pretty clear that they had to get their Blink Dagger, and they had to start, you know, playing off of that as early as possible. This does, of course, mean that Slardar may fall significantly farther behind, going about 35 minutes, because he doesn't have that farming item, but they can get the right kind of ganks right now. They're going to go in. Oh, 2-man's done. That's a good setup. They're going to go on a General now. Where's the follow-up? They get the Winter's Curse onto RMN, making sure there's no response to help out General, but he's still going to be able to survive. Gets uphill. Kiano, he's going to be going down to the Doom. Meanwhile, Cancel has to turn and fight Yoku, but Yoku actually gets away. He's surrounded by Zombie. He's not getting away from this one. Screen and the rest of his boys, they take the fight easily against Kaipi. 3-0.
Super overzealous from the Winter Wyvern there, I feel. You know, he sees a target, he throws his Winter's Curse down. But if he'd waited half a second, a full second, he could have got it on the Doom, maybe forced the Invoker and Shadow Demon to both wail on into that ZXC Doom. But, I mean, Element's not losing a single hero there. It's crazy. Leshrac gets his Bloodstone up, they get a tier 1. And that was KP in a complete swing from what we saw in game number 1, where they were the ones setting up for the team fights. Elements were ready, 100%. They knew what was coming. They felt, okay, Slardar's going to have a blink soon. There's a level 6 Wyvern on the field. This is where the ticking time bomb begins for KP. And the thing is, if you go for that blink on Slardar with the brown boots, you have to fight. you're in a situation where you have to go looking and aiming for these pickoffs time and time again. So warding is going to be imperative here. They need aggressive wards in enemy jungle around the Roche pit. Go and actively look for people. But Elements, look at their defensive warding. One actually on the lane down at bottom, looking for anyone down there in that area. One towards the mid as well, looking between tier 1, tier 2 towers and sort of towards the jungle. It's difficult for yourselves to be in a position where you can jump anybody.
Sorry, guys. It looks like, for whatever reason,
Is your keyboard dead?
yeah, but half of my keyboard is dead.
Excellent.
I can go to last hits. This is why we're on last hits for so long. Is because I hit E to go to net worth. Just absent-mindedly. Once the 10-minute mark happens, that's what I do. E. And then I notice it's not working. My E button just died. My spacebar isn't working. So, life. Yapzor's going to run to the 4-man smoke wraparound behind the tower. They're going to be able to get that one. Can they get more, though? Cancel. He gets spotted out briefly. Armen does manage to get the purge onto him. Cancel's going to let loose that ultimate, but a Doom stops him. He does have the response. Kiana with the 3-man stun, but he gets slowed down immediately. Jenna with a great response there at the ice wall. Yoku barely managed to survive, but Cancel will not. Kaipi limping back as they've lost 2 and unable once again to get any return kills.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
And this is a big, big problem for them now. Bloodstone up to 10 charges. Roshan is going to be relatively simple for them to take. But it's all about the vision game. There's nothing here for KP to give them vision. The Darkseer needs levels. He's been shut down completely. And running around with Soul Ring Arcanes. No mech to fight. No Glimmercate. No Blink to counter-initiate. Slardar, once again, sitting on that Blink Dagger, not able to do too much with it. But the SF. Yeah, we talked about his ability to come back into the game. But he was doing well against General in lane, but he was at a deficit overall kind of thing, where he wasn't where he wanted to be or where he needs to be as an SF. His jungle isn't safe. Top lane is barely safe, but that's where he's going to be heading now because they know they're in the Roche pit. And with Aegis now up on the Leshrac, KP, how do they fight into Tombstone Blink Doom? An almost invulnerable double-lifed Lash with a Shadow Demon behind him, and this is without even mentioning General himself with almost max exalt, the level 2 Necrobook delivered as we speak about him.
They've got none of their core items either. No mech on the Darkseer.
Yeah.
The SF doesn't have an item yet. He's just treads working towards BKB or Sange.
At this point, we saw Bane with we saw Yapzor with Arcane Blink.
Well, free pickoff on screen. Looks like it. Yoko's going to respond with lightning and should be able to catch Bone 7. Stun. Oh, nice sleep turnaround. Yapzor buys a little bit more time, but unfortunately they're both going to be dying now as Keanu hits the 2-man stun once again, but Yapzor is going to die in the side with the Doom on him. ZXC dropping low and low. Winter's Curse laid out. Keanu
Wait, did he really
not going to go
him?
for that one. And Yoku just ends up whiffing out on that one. Looks like they backed up and were able to get the kill on the SF. Buffney. He'll get away from Yoku just barely.
Did the Slaughter really just walk past Yoku without him realizing?
I'm not sure.
I don't know if my eyes deceived me, but I swear they walked through the same choke point. Oh, I don't know. Maelstrom had something to say about it. I guess he's laughing as well. But yeah, this Leshrac, now with a Yule Scepter, he doesn't rely on the Shadow Demon anymore. He's a one-man army.
Top tower is under attack.
Time to buy the game-ending items.
Screen. They tried to go on him last time, and yeah, they got the kill, but it resulted pretty bad. They're going to try again. Looks like it. Screen is dropped. They'll get the Tombstone as well. This time around, it does turn out to be just a free pickoff.
Look at what General has invoked, though. He's ready. He wants.
He's got the combo. As soon as somebody runs into these trees, he's going to try and catch him out. Does get some damage on a Buffney, who drops a bit low. TP away. Keanu not going to get him. Stun only just now coming off cooldown. And Elements slip away once again.
Oh, that gives Bone 7 mech. I think it's going to be a really, really huge factor here for KP. And we're looking at the Gloves of Haste Keanu, so I think it is still going to be the Midas, and they just try and play that long game and maybe outlast Elements a little bit here. As the support's lacking out on the key items once again. Bane, no Glimmer. Winter Wyvern, no Blink, no Glimmer. Lacking in the gold department as well, while Screen is the only one on the Dire who's like in the kind of suicide martyr role, right? He's 1, 4, and 8. He's got Tranquil's Wand. Doesn't have anything to his name, but there's the Glimmer over on RMN, the Shadow Demon, actually decently farmed. Now overtaking the Slardar, in fact. And going back to my point like 5 minutes in where I said the Slardar was in the one role, right? if the 4-roll support on the enemy team is overtaking your 1-roll Slardar, things are not great.
Yeah, they're going to have to throw everything on the back of this SF now. And again, without any items.
Dire's top tower
Not sure how he's going to be able to do that. Two different heroes about to hit that 10k marker. Kaipi not going to be hitting their 10k for a long time now unless they get some sort of amazing fight. Tier 2, it's going to go down in the middle lane. Bone 7 is kind of fruitlessly pushing this Tier 2 tower, but he's not going to get anywhere with it. RMN all of a sudden shows up off of his Glimmer Cape, waiting on the surge in order to get the disruption, but he doesn't need to wait much longer. RMN, oh, he barely gets away! One last hit is all that comes out from the Leshrac illusion, brings him down to 6 HP, but the kill on the Darkseer is secured. And once again, Elements walk away with the superior fight.
How does KP kill an element?
Uh-oh. Cancel, he's been caught. They do have the sleep to be able to buy a little time, but it's not going to buy much. Cancel still goes down as Screen throws out that tombstone to make sure the rest of Kaipi can't really respond.
There's a blink on Doom again. I'm going to die for this. And that's with General missing his meatball. Like, completely missing. But yeah, how does KP kill an Element's Core? I think Invoker's like the one they can look to. But without a blink on the SF, they can't go for the Winter Wyvern Curse into Requiem combination. It's difficult for the SF to get into position for any kind of Requiem. We've already seen Doom cancel it out a couple of times in the past team fights.
Well, Winter's Curse leading on to General here. The vacuum up and the stun follow up. They are going to be able to get the kill on General. And with the hold on RMN, they'll get that kill as well. They're going to look for more now. 5 more seconds till the TP. Stun is up. Screen! He's going to be stopped by that slithering crush. Screen will go down as well. He's going to blink forward and even look for the Doom, but Doom's just way too fast. With Tranquil Boots and Scorched Earth, he goes up to almost max movement speed. Literally,
as I say, General's the only one on their only core on their team that can die. He does die. That was ambitious without your Leshrac.
Oh, Keanu is even more ambitious. Tried to go on the Leshrac by himself. That wasn't going to work out. He just deals a bit of damage. Gets the amp damage, which is then canceled by the Yules. So off of that fight at the bottom lane, they'll actually get a tier 1 tower. Silver lining for Kaipi, I guess, at this point.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Keanu didn't go for the Midas with the treads. I don't know where he heads into after this, though. BKB?
Yeah, probably. Force Staff, perhaps?
I kind of want to see a Lotus Orb on the Radiant. There are so many spells to bounce back here. But I don't know who goes for it. Winter Wyvern Glimmer's great. The Bane can afford a Glimmer now as well, so they're finally getting these utility items.
Oh, the smoke pops. Keanu. He just barely gets away.
One outer tower remaining.
Radiant's middle tower.
I think it's got General's name on it.
Alright, well, they're going to take that top tier 2 and Kaipi. I mean, do you think they should respond? Do you think they should actually try and fight? I think so, right? Because if with this build on Slardar, you have to take fights.
Yeah.
So 5-man smoke it up. See what they could get off of this blink initiation. Winter's Curse leading the way to vacuum. Oh, the Winter's Curse, where is it? Buffney doesn't get it out in Elements. They skate away pretty much. Now there's a response. They're going to get a Deafening Blast on a cancel. Held in. ZXC is going to be the target. Keanu finishes them off. Yapzor is stunned up in the process. And Elements starts streaming forward. His cancel slowed down thanks to that purge. He has to turn and fight General, but won't get near enough damage to get the kill. A 2-for-1 special for Elements.
That was with DDSF, but I can't believe there was no Winter's Curse there. It was a 3-4-man vacuum into the wall. Tombstone was dropped.
What did he end up Winter's Cursing? I mean, it's on cooldown now. I didn't even see it.
Oh. It's way too late.
That was such a beautiful vacuum, too. That would have been 4.
That's the high ground push. Max Edict. Necrobook is down, but they still do have the Force Spirits. Kiana goes in.
Misses the stun on Yoku, but hits screen, brings him a bit low. Disruption on Bone 7. Yapster's going to come forward. Actually finishes up the Undying. And hopes to be able to catch out +1 with his Nightmare, which he will be able to. RMN gets stunned up. And the kill, while delayed, is still assured for Kaipi.
That was an SF buyback, though.
All fears fading.
At least he's back to full souls.
The
That's
silver
one thing.
lining, Cap. The silver lining. Hey up.
But it's a 12,000 gold lead, and...
Oh, Yapso, you sneaky devil. They know about this. Where's he go?
Well, he successfully got to sleep.
He's role-playing as PGG.
Slarder's going to come in. He actually... No, he's not. I was like, he actually could hit the two-man stun and maybe save the Bane a bit longer, but not a good idea.
I don't know what the game plan was there.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. He must have really thought the general was all alone.
Or you just go for the Nightmare Fiend's Grip and buy time for the Slardar to come in, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But
It's time for Elements to open up the base, though. They need a naked set of racks. They can start chipping away with Necrobooks and Forge Spirits.
yeah.
Look for a fight outside that Radiant base. And it's actually going to be KP looking for the fight themselves as they smoke up as 4.
On the hunt. Kaipi making their way in. Elements. We're actually in a decent area to respond, but not so much anymore. Keanu's going to find General here. General does have the Deafening Blast as a response. They're actually going to come in and fight this one. Tombstone laid out. General's still going to be going down here. Oh, they need a little bit more damage. Keanu can't catch him. Oh, he's going to be able to get away. Blinks himself out. Cancel still has the Doom on him with the minions surrounding him. He's going to end up going down. Winter's Curse on his EXE, but that only delays the inevitable. At this point, Elements are going to take control of this fight. They're going to clean up at least 2 heroes and possibly make it a third. Keanu, nope, barely gets away.
I think the Wyvern's just being too greedy. He's holding onto that curse for just a little bit too long. If you throw it onto General there, not only do you lock him down, but you stop the blink initiation or the blink counter initiation from the Doom. He can't blink in, he can't blink past, because that curse is in that AoE where he'd have to, bypass through to get into the KP heroes.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
3-man vacuum, 3-man wall, 3-man crush. This is a good setup, but is it going to be enough? They take 1 kill. The disruption on the Yoku buys him some time and does allow him to get out as well.
The invincible Lash Knight walks away with half HP.
Radiant's bottom barracks
It's got
are under
18
attack.
Bloodstone charges. RMN looks like he may be left for dead or not. Leshrac turns around, throws out a zoning stun.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Kaipi still going to catch RMN though. Team leaves him behind. They can still jump forward though. Vacuum. Keanu. He has his blink, hits the stun on him to Yoku. They slow him down. They'll be able to get that kill. Bloodstone comes out. Buffney is going to be the target of the Invoker combination, but they don't get it. Now the Fiend's Grip from behind. General's actually in serious trouble as Buffney's going to turn around, hit the Splinter Blast, and that'll finish off General. Now Keanu looks for even more as ZXC. If he gets a bunch of lucky bashes, who knows what can happen here, as they do not have that Scorched Earth. But still, Kaipi, they picked up a number of kills there. What was it? Starting with the Undying, then the Shadow Demon, then the Invoker, and forced out the Suicide on the Leshrac.
I see General come in from the side there and think, okay, that's the fight over. He's won it. Seeing that he's got like Meteor and Deafening Blast invoked. That's the 3rd time now
Dire's
that
middle
he's
tower is
failed to
under
hit anyone.
attack.
Yeah.
And I'm unsure if this is just like positioning or if it's KP outmaneuvering him. But not being able to land that
Dire's
combo
bottom
is
tower
really
is under
letting them down in
attack.
these team fights. Because that honestly could have closed out the game for them. Make sure that they kill off a couple of heroes there, then get back into pressuring the racks down the bottom lane. It opens things up massively.
I mean, how the hell is... I mean, they're winning fights. How is SF still so poor?
He keeps dying. What's his
Yeah, I
score?
guess so. I mean, I know
3.
he's bought back once, right?
Yeah. Just hasn't had the chance. So I'm sure now, yeah, his Slardar has actually overtaken him. This Slardar who was below the Shadow Demon has overtaken the SF. He just gets the Tombstone like plopped on his head, and he has to deal with the Tombstone, then he can't really deal out too much damage. So not only is he not getting kills, where he's getting focused down and killed off in the team fights, the Doom is regularly thrown straight onto him as well.
Roche time. Elements. We'll get that one up. That'll be given to Yoku.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Darkseer is actually about to pick up a Shiva's. That would actually potentially give that Wombo combo enough oomph to take it, 40 minutes in and still be effective. They had that extra bit of nuke AoE and just the slow in general to make sure that Kaipi are able to follow up a bit better with their Winter's Curse, which has been an issue. Slender's been on point with his stunts, though.
I think if General just hits one combo, the game ends. Like, I honestly see that that's the stage of the game we're at. Because so far he's been 4 Spirits Necrobook and very little else. And the Invoker could be so much more. Arman's been on point with his disruptions. This Yoku Leshrak with the plate mail is decent. BKB is freshly picked up. He's good with the magic damage, which is kind of surprising not seeing the BKB on the SF just yet. That SNY is his primary pickup, but Slaughter has one. BKB Slaughter, like you mentioned, the Shiva's over on that Darkseer. And I think Yapsor is going to go for BKB of his own, but there was one item that I noticed being picked up, was the Ags on SD, and he's halfway there. That
Good lord.
That triple purge break, so good against Darkseer, Slaughter, SF. I mean, how often do we see Shadow Demon picked up? Never mind a Shadow Demon basically rushing Aghanim Scepter.
Yapsor is still playing the same kind of way. Super aggressive, trying to find a one-hero pick-off.
Dire's structures are fortified.
He's being disruptive and causing a lot of attention to be thrown his way, allowing certain scenarios like Kaipi pushing out the bottom lane a bit.
The naked Rax at bot though. That's what they aim for. So KP shove out mid and top. They've got to try and push the yeah, there we go. Lines are drawn. Push equilibrium as far across the map as they possibly can. And then they try and draw elements into their Rax down at bottom lane and play that counter initiation game.
I'm surprised they're not set up though. I mean, you don't want to let elements start getting past this area. It's such an easy vacuum area. I feel like it's their only way to defend.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yep, so the last in TP back is here now. Elements are just leaving the Leshrak in the front lines here as the melee axe is going to be going down. The vacuum laid out, wall misses.
There's that Lotus I wanted from KP.
But Elements are still playing it safe.
Radiant's bottom barracks.
They're willing to let Yoku be initiated on as much as they want. Cancel. No, Surge right back to the fountain he goes. Fiend's gripping on his ZXD, but there's just no damage to really follow it up. Keanu's going to try and get that damage now. Pops his BKB, but ZXD easily out healing him with just a wand. Now the combo drops. There it goes. Bone 7. Cancel even almost dying inside the fountain. Keanu is going to be the next target. Cold Embrace buys him some time. The ultimate gets laid out. That slows down the damage, but Slaughter still goes down. So too does the SF fall. To buy back now, they're going to try and go in and see if they can't catch some of these heroes, but unfortunately without their Slardar, they have no catch.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They get Armen. Oh, no, that's a Soul Rip that easily out heals the raises.
Once again, nobody dies.
Dire's
Everyone
middle
walks
tower
away,
is under
healthy
attack.
and happy for Elements.
And they get a Rax for it as well.
Oh, now they have the Ags for the Invoker.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Combat does damage a little bit more. And that big old Deafening Blast is is pretty cool as well. Massive AoE on it. A little bit later on though.
Yeah, let's see if he can get to level 24, right?
Is it 24?
No, it's
It's
22,
It's
right?
gonna be 23. He's got max exhaust, so it's gonna be 23.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he just has to have almost maxed out on every one of them. What a weird idea.
He's definitely one of the more interesting heroes. As long as they don't bring back the Gambler. Fuck that guy.
All right, Elements. Looking to crack that second lane of Rax and pretty much all but secure victory. The Aegis is going to be taken out now, but Shiva's complete for the Leshrac in the process. Yapzor is actually going to go for the hold on the screen here, see if they can't get that quick kill, take away that Tombstone advantage. Still, though, the Doom is out on Bone 7. No wall, no vacuum in time. That's going to be 2 down already as Cancel just getting kited around. He's going to be torn apart as well. Yapzor, he stays ahead of ZXC, but it's only him and the Slardar. No backup from the rest of Kaipi. So they don't have buybacks, and they'll go ahead and call it GG.
Go to game number 3.
It was an odd game 1, and it certainly wasn't a normal game 2.
It was like game number 1 was just some like Salvador Dali, like surreal weird game. Game number 2 was just a bit wonky, you know, bit of Picasso. It wasn't that unusual, just a little bit out of place. But I don't know. These two teams, they like fighting and running at each other a little bit too much, I think.
But it seems like we are getting closer to normal.
Yeah.
So maybe game 3 will be a nice, you know, Rembrandt.
Yeah, Monet or something.
All right. We'll see what happens, guys. Masterpieces on their way. Game number 3 after a short break.